Nick, are you ready? Do you want to come play?
She has to be. She doesn't have a choice.
Yeah. Okay.
One
Right.
sec.
Everybody, please
I wasn't ready
give her a
though.
big welcome. She's been hanging around here. She's really nervous to come and see you guys, or not really see you guys, because it's a different challenge when you don't actually see the audience, right? So here she is, the
You've
Tower of
got to
Power,
give
too
her
sweet to
the
be
love
sour.
in the chat.
Lots of love in the chat.
Okay.
And here we go.
Oh.
Hello. No, we haven't got
No.
audio. On.
There she is.
You are there.
Yes.
Yes.
I wasn't sure if I was on screen yet. All I can see is
Oh,
myself, and
she's playing
that's
us.
a worry.
She's playing. That's it. Well, we're leaving you to the audience. Go on.
Okay, right, yes. You go, you teach them all about your chromies.
You have fun.
Well, I'll try
Enjoy.
to.
Yes.
Okay,
I'll
we'll
try
see you
to.
soon.
We'll be here. Have
I
an
just
hour
wish
beer.
we had. Well, I wish we'd sort of worked out the wardrobe before we started today.
We did. We know we had our names on
Yeah,
ours.
we have names on ours.
Did you not contact everybody about the shirts today? Like, we're all wearing the same thing.
No, we have names on ours.
Oh, what?
Yeah, it's true.
Oh.
What I'll do is I'll put this side one on here so you can see on this side. Look, we have names on ours.
Oh, yeah.
Who do I need to call? Who do I need to call?
Ghostbusters.
Yeah, Ghostbusters. Yeah.
Ghostbusters.
You need to call.
Yeah. Not Goatbusters.
Who are you gonna
but
call?
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
Right. Anyway, let's not take any more of your time. The
Nicole,
audience have waited long enough.
Don't worry about running over. Okay, you just do the whole thing. Okay,
Yeah.
give the delegates everything.
We stop at Friday midnight.
We'll
but if you
we'll catch you up later on. All right, you just go for it. Okay,
because we don't want to
guys.
miss
Beautiful.
anything of yours. All
Glad
right.
you've given me a cut-off. Friday afternoon. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bye now.
Great. Enjoy, people. Love yous.
Oh, well. Yeah. Both I'm Nicole Gregg, CBA from Adelaide, Australia, and I am super excited to be teaching here for Qualitex. And I think quickly before I start, because I'm going to forget at the end of the session, is to really thank Dom and Keith for all their hard work. This has been put together in a very quick 2 weeks. And of course, all the moderators, Susan, Eve, Cam, and all the other people at Qualitex Pioneer Balloons behind the scenes who have made this all happen. So I'm going to do something a little bit different today. Normally, obviously, when I teach, I'm known as the Quick Link Queen because I absolutely love quick links. But I also love chrome balloons. So little bit of I suppose history in where I came up with this design. So late last year, I was asked, I'm sure it was late last year, I was asked to do by another balloon store. They had to do it organic here in Adelaide, and they had to add a dragon and a rat for Chinese New Year. Not New Year, New Year. And it was a case of it has to be gold. That was sort of the key, and I thought, brilliant, initially. And then when they said it had to be gold, I went, oh, I'm limited. I'm limited to the size of balloons that I can use because there's only rounds and 260s in chrome. But that's okay, because the beautiful thing about this, obviously, as an artist, it allows us to be creative with our sizes and to manipulate them a little bit. So, and to think outside the square, kind of that's what I like, you know. So hence I came up with my little rat here, my little chrome fella. And I might just let Keith and Dom know that they're in my head at the moment. And as much as I love them, there's enough voices in my head without hearing Keith and Dom. I mean, I love you boys, but seriously, there's enough in my head without you being in there too. So it's just confusing me. Oh, yeah, but I might just repeat what you say. So, because I've got no idea. Seriously, now that's 200 voices in my head. Get out. Nah, love you, boys. Love you. But yeah, I would much prefer to hear my own thoughts right now. So yeah, so as I was saying, it doesn't matter if you want to use a balloon or use a particular color and you're limited to sizes. As I said, as an artist, this is, to me, this is where we get our inspiration from, to play and to manipulate our designs. Now, obviously 2 weeks ago, this class was put together, and so I thought, I know when I posted these, and I made them a couple of times for the particular store here in Adelaide for their job, which was awesome. It was great to be part of it and to add my twisted element to it. You would have noticed, so I had a bit of demand for this one. A lot of people said, will there be a tutorial? So obviously when I was asked to teach for Q Corner convention, I thought, hey, it's hanging with my chromies. Let's show this design. But you would have noticed in the last week, so I put in the stock list for this design, but you would have noticed in the last week, obviously my mind's always ticking. It's always ticking. Pictures in my head, ideas. So you would have noticed I've come up with quite a few other designs and other techniques manipulating those really 3 balloons that we've got available, 7-inch, 11-inch round and 260, and playing with them. So my design that I just posted yesterday was my elephant, come up with a pig, lots more ideas in my head. So for me, as much as I want to show you a design and share, I want to inspire. So I want to inspire you guys to think outside the square and to come up with different concepts and ideas. Just trying to find all my balloons that I've scattered. I just posted this just recently. I actually made it before the elephant, but again, sort of same sort of technique. A little bunny. So as I said, think outside the square and have a bit of fun with your chrome balloons. Because even though we've only got a couple of sizes, you can still make so much with it. So I always say, don't be limited by your imagination. Let it flow and just play and create. I should say straight away before I get into doing some hands-on work, my philosophy when I teach is we have a destination, which in this case is our rat. I'll show you the way I've come up with it. There are different roads. I don't care which road you take. If you find an easier way to do something that I'm doing, one, share it with me. I'd like to know too. But I'm not fussed if you change it up and do different things. This is what it's all about. It's not about just following this recipe. It's about being inspired. And I'm inspired all the time when I go onto Facebook. I mean, even just to be the people that are sitting in this convention, the people that have taught on this convention, you are absolutely all inspirational. And that's where I grab a lot of my inspiration from, is seeing posts. And I mean, as I said, there's so many creative people out there. So without further ado, let's start doing some twisting. Now, please, by all means, I haven't got the boys in my ear anymore. It's just now my own voices in my head. I can't see any chat. So hopefully the boys, if there is a question or if I'm going too fast, somebody will interject and just let me know. But anyhow, hopefully you've got some balloons to twist along. So we're going to start with 2 of the 7-inch chrome gold. Also keep in mind, if you've got a different color chrome that you want to use, go for it. If you don't have chrome, do it out of normal balloons, you know, your non-chrome. It's all cool. Same. So I think I did finish that part of the destination. Doesn't matter which road you take. As long as we get to the destination, it's all good. So as I said, I'm here definitely just to try and inspire, like I'm inspired every day. So we're going to inflate. That's a good hand. Now, I don't want to tie it too tight, too close to the balloon, but I don't want to tie it too high. So I want to tie this about in the middle, just so I've still got a little bit of manipulation. Let's grab the second one, and we are going to inflate that to approximately, give or take, the same size. And again, tie off. So we have 2. All right, grab the first one, and it's going to be about 2-3 finger bubble. We're going to twist it and turn it into a pinch twist. We're going to do exactly the same on the other one. Not with that one. The main thing is, and obviously you can see that this is completely live, we're licensed to pop. It's part of our training. Or sometimes, as I like to say, lack of training. All right. I always say don't work with children or animals. Technically, as a twister, we do both. So we've done the pinch twist in both of those. I'm just going to lock them in together. So I've just put the bubbles on each other and just spiraled them. So that's what I've got. Some really good fish lips or some cheeks. Let's put that down to the side. Now the fun part. Now, I'll be honest with you, when I first made this design for the first time, I didn't have any 7-inch. I only had the 11-inch in stock. So I only had 2 types of chrome. Of course, then I managed to grab some 7-inch before I made it the second time. Now, I will tell you, when I did this first, the muzzle, and the thing is, what I wanted to achieve with this design is I didn't want to have all the 260s and all the lines. I really wanted to give it a nice chunky muzzle. Now, I will tell you, initially doing this technique, I would have, well, I think I popped about 3 or 4 balloons before I got it right. And I said many colourful words like wild berry, lime green, Caribbean blue. Said many, 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 many words. And then I got a little bit smart. So I'll show you what I did. I'm just going to stretch this out a bit because we want to manipulate this a little bit. All right. So pretty well inflated a couple of times. I'm going to bring it down. This is about the size of a, smaller than a bowling ball. So it's probably about 5 inches or so. No, actually a bit bigger. It's probably 7 inches, give or take. I haven't got the biggest hands. And we want to tie it nice and high to the nozzle, because we definitely, we want to manipulate, and we want to make sure that we've got room for the air to move. All right, so you really got a lot of room just to manipulate. So I'll put that to the side, and I'm going to grab just one of the, because I decided I was going to make the whole design in chrome, but I just wanted to add a few accents. So we're going to grab one of the 7-inch mauve, or mauve. I say mauve. You say tomato. I say tomato. All right. You nose it. Doesn't matter how big your nose is or how small your nose is. I always think a nose is a little bit personal taste. But it's about 3-4 fingers. Now this one I do want to tie. I always think that's, well, low to the balloon. So to make sure we got this lovely nozzle area. So it's nice and close to the balloon. Now, initially, I was just, when I first did it, got the knot on this side. I was pushing and pushing, and as I said, I would have popped about 3 or 4 balloons because it was so tight here. Yeah. Excellent. Sorry, someone decided to call me. You gotta love it. Please don't call me. Nobody call me right now. I'm working. So sorry about that. If you saw me up close or you lost me. So I found it quite difficult to get my little chubby little fingers in there to grab it. It was really, really, really tight. So I don't know if someone else has done this before me, but I thought to myself, I need something that I can grab onto that will just give me a little bit more stability. So I'm very lucky that my sister has a costume jewelry store, and she had a lot of these little beads that were starting to sort of tarnish and lose their shine. So she was going to chuck them out. I grabbed them from her. So it's just a little bead. You may use a raisin if you like, whichever. I came up with the idea, and as I said, I don't know if someone else has done this before me, but so I've tied it, to put the bead just in the nozzle area of the balloon. So I've got it in there. This will give me a bigger area to grab. So if someone else came up with this before me, brilliant. I've inadvertently taken it from you without realizing it. If not, hopefully this is a golden nugget. So now I've got that bead in between my tasty little fingers here, and basically just from the front area, I'm going to squeeze through and come at the bottom, and I can grab it straight away. Twist it. So I have that. Now, I do apologize here. This is super, super, super tight up against my fingers. And I must admit, I can't do it without putting a piece of the balloon in my mouth. I do apologize. If you don't want to see this, look away now. Go get a cup of tea. Do whatever you need to do. But it's going. So I grab a little bit of scrap. And then I wrap that around. And I nicely tie that in. Ooh. Now, the other key is with the chrome, don't tie this balloon that you wrap around too tight. I find it can rip the balloon and create a leak. So that will allow us, as you can see, I've just tied that underneath, and I have my nice little muzzle area, which I can manipulate and attempt to bring my nose a little bit more forward if I want. And then depending on what part of the balloon I go in, if I go in more of an angle, I'm going to have less of the front face part of the muzzle. So completely up to you. But whew, no popping. So yeah, so hopefully you like the little bead trick. Let's keep moving. So we're going to grab our cheeks. And you've got the choice here. Sometimes I twist off a little bubble in this one. And I'm going to lock it back in here. So I'm just going to twist it nicely around those other pinch twists. All right, so we've got that. The start of our chromie. Let's grab our silver. We're going to quickly add our little buck teeth. Now, we don't need a lot. I've only basically half inflated that, if that. I'm going to create a 3-finger bubble. Come back on itself and bring that through, lock it in. We don't need any more. Break it off. Oh, just thinking about it, I didn't welcome you to my house. Welcome to my house. Hope you all wiped your feet before you came in. Nah, I'm just kidding. It's not raining over here. It's quite a nice day outside. Not raining. And wherever you are in the world, I suppose, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night. But I'm not leaving yet. You're still stuck with me for a little bit longer, so maybe I should have said the good night first. So we've got the little scrap here, and of course we've got a bit of scrap from our teeth. Now, quite tight. I want to just bring that in and really tie it in. Doesn't have to be super, super, super tight. It'll just sit in that little crevice that we've created. And I'm just going to trim off the rest. There we go. All right, hopefully we're all good. We're all twisting along, having some fun, side by side. Let's grab some 260s. We're going to go chrome silver, chrome gold. Now, I will straight away say, just quickly, I'm going to show you because I just mocked up a second head. Hope I wasn't getting ahead of myself, or maybe I was doing a head start. I'm never sure. Anyhow, obviously with the new technique that I've been coming up with just this week, that's probably the way I might have done the head structure if I had thought about that at the time last year. And this is the beautiful thing. Like, just because you've made a design doesn't mean you can't change it or you can't adapt it or make it better or hopefully not worse. But yeah, I said always evolving. I never sort of sit still or stop thinking about images and how I can make something a bit better and something a bit more effective. I must admit the inspiration was probably Twist and Shout when I taught at Twist and Shout last year in Chicago and for Qualitex. And Derek Wong, amazing artist from Canada, came up with one of the competition pieces was a Minnie Mouse, and it was all chrome. And honestly, the way he, he'd look like the chrome was available in hearts and all different shapes. Just the way he manipulated it was just phenomenal. And I think that was kind of in my head and the inspiration when I made this wrap for the first time. So thank you, Derek. Yeah, absolutely. Sensational artist. Already put the gold on. Now the gold I'm pretty well going to inflate close to 95%. Going to give it just a nice little burp. And I always, for some reason, I just like to give my chrome just a little bit of a stretch. Tuck that one under the arm. Going to grab my silver, and we don't need a lot of this, so I've inflated that just a bit more than half. I tie them together. Again, so many different ways you can do. Oh, look at this, 3D balloons coming to a screen near you. So, sorry if my jokes are a bit corny. Normally I feed off the audience, and it's really hard to feed off you guys because, well, you're not really giving me much right now. For some reason I can't see you, I can't hear you. So I'll just have to, make my own fun. But hopefully we're all having fun. So I'm going to come in from underneath. And I want to bring it in basically behind this pinch twist here. Now, like everything, as I was making this design again this morning, I thought to myself, I could make the head structure first and then attach it in. So, as I said, so many different ways. You find a better way to do something, by all means, do it. That's what it's all about. As I said, it's about sharing, inspiring, and learning. So, all right, so I've got them all nicely attached. I'm going to come up a good bit more than a hand width, and I'm twisting the two off together. Now, I'm very conscious that I don't want to pop anything as well. So I'm not going to come down with both and try and push them through. I'm just going to come down with one at a time. I'm going to pick the gold first, and I'm going to use these pinch twists at the back. To lock it in. Now I'm going to come down with the silver. And if you notice, I'm just giving it just a little bit of a squeeze as I go. All right, so we have a 4 cluster. So 2 silver at the front and 2 gold. I'm using the silver for my eyes. We don't need any more of this silver, so I am going to pop and save for later on. And I've just tied that at the back, and I'm just going to lock it in and around. Now, the remainder of my gold, and this is hence why I, pretty well 90% inflated it. Now, don't be stressed out if your design is all moving while you're working. We'll tweak it at the end. So now I'm going to come out, and just prior to the top of the eyes, It's going to come up with a bubble. And I reckon I'm about 2 fingers from the top of my eye structure. I'm going to twist it off and make a pinch twist. All right, so we've got that at the moment. And you know what, just for safety, I'm going to put a second pinch twist in on this one. Then I'm going to feed my chrome gold through the eye structure. All right, so we have that. We're going to repeat it on the other side. So right where we've come out of the head structure, I'm going to do 2 pinch twists. Like everything, there is method to my madness or twistedness. All right, now I'm going to come back in. I'm going to do a matching bubble and come back in and under. All right, we so don't want to pop anything. I'm going to pop this balloon off because we're not going to use any more, and we can't use any more. All right. I'm going to wrap it in around. Just going to tie it because honestly, I don't want anything to deflate because you have to remember when the balloon starts going down, it's only letting itself down. Just remember that's not your fault. It's the balloon. It's letting itself down. So another bad joke, bit of balloon humor. All right. I just heard a ping, 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 ping in my ear. So hopefully that's not something happening. But anyhow, we will continue. We're going to grab 2 more 7-inch gold. And because I popped one, I need to go to the bag and find another one. And this is where, oh, there it is. Sorry about that. Under all the other chrome balloons. So these are going to be the ears. So I said that's probably, again, it's good hand width. I'm going to tie this nice and low to the balloon. And we're going to inflate the other one as well. Same size. Yep. All right, nice and low because we want to keep that roundness. And of course, we have these lovely little pinch twists. These are going to be my little connection points just to wrap those ears in. Let's go with the other. Now, if you got my product list, you will notice I put too many balloons on there. I did that for a reason because obviously, look, we're balloon artists. We're going to pop stuff. It's what we meant to do. Well, not all the time. It's always nicer when we don't pop. So I thought if you had a few more balloons next to you, that if something did pop, you could just continue because you had extra stock. I'm going to inflate another 260 gold. And again, I've left basically a 2-3 finger tail there. I'm going to give it a lovely little bit of a burp. And I'm going to do the same thing that, as I said, for some reason with my chromes, just like to stretch them. It feels so nice. Now, I'm going to come in from basically the eye structure because now I want to split the eyes or just put a spacer. So again, I'm going to pick one of the cheeks. Doesn't matter which cheek. And I'm going to position that. As I said, don't worry about everything being a little bit out of shape at the moment. I basically want that to come up. Again, I'm just going to soften as I go. All right. And then I'm going to squeeze it into here. Hopefully you can see that. Because I don't want to have air in the balloon right there. So I've just squeezed it into my joins at the top. I'm going to come down the other side. Again, just squeeze a little bit. And I'm going to lock in around those lovely pinch twists at the back. Wrap it nicely around. Oops, sorry. More 3D balloons. And then I'm going to come up one side of the cheek. Now, I don't want to see these pinch twists. I don't want to see all this working. I mean, this is, especially if it's going out for display, I like to get rid of those workings because people want to see a beautiful product from the front. They don't want to see all the mechanics and stuff like that. So what I want to do is just in front, again, I'm going to soften as I go. I'm going to come up and around, and it's just, the balloon is just going to lie in front of the pinch twist on where I've attached the ears. So again, squeeze, squeeze, just soften as you go. Get everything into a little bit of normality, as she says, without popping anything. All right. So obviously, this could be a great chrome Mickey Mouse or Minnie Mouse. But yeah, so that's going to be our wrap. It's always a nice thing when you're twisting is that when you get to a certain point and you look back at your, that's all right, it's just one of my little pinch twists at the back there that I popped, but that's all right. When you look back at something, you sometimes see another design, and that's always, yeah, pretty cool. Break that off. We don't want any more or need any more. I'm just going to lock that in and around my pinch twist at the back. So sometimes, just to make sure this is sitting in a nice spot, I'll basically grab the eye structure. So I'm going in and behind the silver, and I'm just going to give it a bit of a pull just to bring my eye structure out. So I got right in and behind the silver, held down that, and just pulled it a bit. And as you can see, that's sitting quite nicely now. All right, so that was our head start. Let's grab, and I'm going to grab another bead or a raisin, whatever you have, and we're going to put that into our 11-inch. I'm going to start on the body. All right, so we've got that bead in there. Just going to let it breathe just a little bit. Tie it sort of medium. All right, now I could attach it and do this, or I can do this first and then attach it. Whoop. Listen here, she said. Which way you do it? I'm going to do it first. Now, I don't want to come underneath and grab my bead because then I find, obviously, everything that I'm connecting now is going to sit right on the bottom, which is going to make it then a bit bulky. So I'm just going to come just slightly to the side and find that bead, which is, if you're playing bingo right now, 27. So as you can see, in between my thumb and finger here is the bead. So I haven't gone underneath. I've just gone slightly up. I've got it in my hand. And now I'm going to put this on the table because normally I would put this in my mouth again because I find it so much easier to control. Like that. We're going to go back to the old style of how I do it. Come on. Lucky number 7. Has anybody got number 7? Bingo. All right. I apologise in advance. Look, I blame it on the fact that I'm left-handed. Obviously, why I can't do it normally without putting it in my mouth. Let's put it on that. I apologise to any left-handed people out there, but there's not many of us. So we've blocked that off. Again, with my nozzle, I'm going to come in by the cheeks and just again lock it in and around those pinch twists. So up around the pinch twists. We should have that. Adorable. Let's grab another magic. Let's grab another 260 chrome gold. I had no idea I was a magician. Things you learn when you do a webinar. All right, again, I'm going to let it breathe. I have pretty well nearly fully inflated that. I've left again about 2 fingers. Let's do that lovely. Now, with this part, make sure you're always going around the pinch twists at the back of the head. Try not to go around the top of the neck, or basically where you've attached the 11-inch. I find it just creates an issue where all of a sudden you've cut that off and it doesn't look right, doesn't sit right. So I find if every time we go up and down, we attach into the pinch twist. Where's the one I made earlier? So if we attach into these pinch twists rather than going in around, because I don't want you to cut off the top part of the 11-inch balloon. So up and down here, I just find it makes it a little bit neater, a little bit nicer, and it just sits a bit better. So again, if you want to start at the bottom part where we've got the bead, by all means. I'm going to start at the pinch twist at the top. So I'm going to lock in my nozzle in and around, and hope I don't pinch anything, pop anything else like I just have. But that's all right. I still have another one there. Squeeze the balloon, and you want to measure it up right to where the bead is. And we're going to make like a 1-finger pinch twist. Now, I want to try and make sure that when you go around that bead, you actually go underneath that bead. You don't just attach your balloons. So what I do is I will lie it on there, and I'll actually pull the bead up. So I've got that bead in between my thumb and my fingers, and I'm literally going to bring it right around the other side of the pinch twist. I hope that makes sense. So it's a bit like when you make your first pinch twist in a balloon. You want to sort of bring it past. So I've got the bead in between my thumb and my finger, and I'm actually wrapping that bead. So that bead has completely been wrapped around that pinch twist. So, because as I said, if we just use the balloon, we're going to get a gap. It's going to pull. The minute you put another balloon through these balloons, it's going to pull. So you really want to make sure that you've got a lovely tight connection, and it's all in there stable. I'm going to make a second pinch twist just for stability. All right, so we have that at the back. All right, let's give it a good squeeze. And again, I'm running out of pinch twist at the top here, so I want to make sure I don't pop this last one, and make sure that I get it in and under. So extremely gently as we go. So I've just come in and around that pinch twist at the back, and then I'm going to lay it down on the other side. Again, make sure in and under the pinch twist at the bottom. So we just make sure everything is really nice and tight. Now, with this one, I'm quite happy with the shape of that tail or the size of that tail. You can add another one, but for today, I'm just going to give it a little bit of a shock twist, and we have our part of the back, which will now allow us to attach our arms and our legs. So let's grab another 260 gold. Now I've left about a hand's width on this one because we're not going to need all of this. This is going to be the arms. Hope you're all aware currently this is not a dangerous rat. It's unarmed. Armless? That doesn't matter. In my head, you're all laughing. Or maybe that's the other voices in my head. Anyhow, it doesn't matter. It's all good fun. With the mauve chrome, we're going to leave a good hand's width. So we're not going to need it all. Now, you would have noticed a few times I like to tie as little knots as possible. So if I know I'm going to tie 2 balloons together, this one I haven't tied yet, I'm going to tie straight away to the other one. Just saves me a knot. I mean, if you could not tie any of them and just tie them together. But, you know, I'm not that smart. We're just going to do a quick little 3 pinch twist hand because I find that's sort of my go-to hand. I find it pretty handy. So we've just got that 3 pinch twists. I always like to just give my arm just a little shock twist, kind of so I know where my elbow is going to be. And all those lovely 3 bubbles at the back, we're just going to sieve place just through. I mean, you can add it up and around the neck if you want. I find this is sufficient. And also, as you can see, in the time that I've made this balloon, you know, I've lost a bubble or 2 there at the back. So I don't want to really put too much pressure on that head structure at the back. And I've got these 3 bubbles, so I might as well use them. So let's find our other arm. So again, I'm going to give it a bit of a shock twist. And as long as they're roughly around the same size, break off the remaining. Let's tie this one up. Now we're going to go grab this balloon. So we're going to break. I'm not going to tie. I'm going to grab my other hand or my other arm. I'm going to tie that together. And then I'm going to go back and just make sure that I lock off where I've broken it off. So I don't lose any of my fingers. So I've managed to find the nozzle of the chrome gold and I'm tying them together. You can wrap it in. You don't have to tie it. I mean, wrap it in, friction will hold it. Completely up to you to what you prefer. All right, so let's do the 3 bubbles again. 1, 2, 3 pinch twists. Break off any remaining and tie that off. Oh. So we're all going good in there? Yes, thumbs up. Oh, so many of not all at once. Don't all give me thumbs up. Hopefully you're going well. Hopefully I'm still live. Because I will tell you, I did a webinar a couple of years ago for Balloon.org, Mr. Steve Capromo, and I had no idea that I was freezing. So, and I was teaching my hummingbird at the time, one of my early quick link designs. And I ended up making 4 of them because, yeah, I just kept making, thinking everybody was still there and they weren't. So I hope this is not one of those awkward situations. I hope you're all there. Fingers crossed. So, but I made a lovely bouquet out of the hummingbirds. It was because I made so many of them. Let's inflate another 260 gold chrome. Again, I've left about 3 fingers there. I'm going to give it a nice burp and I'm going to give it a lovely, lovely, lovely stretch. So I'm not sure if the boys are talking to me at any time. I'm seeing someone in front of me. Have I frozen? Oh, I haven't frozen, have I? Oh, phew. You know, I had flashbacks. I had flashbacks to that webinar. I'll tell you. Okay, thank you for that. I appreciate it. It was all so quiet. It was so quiet. Oh, my God. And I thought I was only going to get one person. Oh, thank you. Winning! Oh. You're just saying that, but hey, I'll send you that money by PayPal. Don't you worry. The cash is as good in the bank. Oh, thank you. Love your work. Oh, phew. I had major flashbacks to that webinar. Anyhow, okay. Now, while I was busily chatting, I've inflated another move. Chrome. Left a good hand's width. We're not going to use all of this. We're just going to accessorize and put a few little toes on our mouse. All right. Oh, and I wasn't thinking. I was looking at the time to see how I was going, and now I'm going to have 3 knots there. But you know what? Okay. As they say, it's not wrong. It's not wrong when it's so right. That's weird. I am now going to do 3 little pinch twists for the little toes. So I've done one, and you can see I've tied the balloons together. 2, 3. All right. So I have that. All right. And a special thanks to the 2 people that are here as well. Thank you so much. Bottom of my heart, it's beautiful. We can either break this off now.
Sometimes I leave it there because just in case a bubble goes down, I can then just replace it before I break. So sometimes just to err on the side of any breakage issues. So now we're going to do the first foot, and I'm going to do it, I'm going to go about 4 fingers and create 2 pinch twists. 1 finger pinch twist. All right. I'm going to retie that. We're just going to do that again. Oh, sorry. Let's get the balloon. Lock that in. See, this is the perfect way to show you what to do when something pops, because it does happen. All right. So let's do it again. I'm going to give it a nice squeeze. About a hand whip. 2 pinch twists. Deja vu. I feel like I've been here before. And squeeze a little bit. So I've done my 2 pinch twists. I'm going to come back down and create another bubble the same size and just lock it into the toes. So I currently have that. Now I'm going to make a 3rd bubble. I'm really going to give it a good squish because this is kind of like going to be the top of the foot. I should just get it out. So I have 3 bubbles. 1, 2, 3. Now because I popped it, obviously it's going to be a bit tight, but that's all right because one of my legs, I don't need to use as much balloon as the second leg. So this is just going to be the leg that I would usually make second because it's going to be shorter, just the connection point, not the foot. It's not going to be an odd size rat. Now let's make a loop twist. And I've done that about a good hand's width. Really could be whatever size you like. And then we're going to grab the rest of the balloon. Now, as you can see, Siri, I wasn't talking to you. Sorry, Siri's decided to. No, I'm not talking to you, Siri. Obviously, Siri doesn't know how to make balloons. Thought she knew everything. I'm going to measure this one side of the balloon up, and I want to basically make it so it's the length is just to the top of the loop, and then I'm going to follow with a pinch twist. Now, because I'm nearly at the end of my balloon, if you didn't break your balloon and you are following me along, then leave that extra bit because that we're going to feed through here. So I'm going to have to do that on my second foot. Normally I would do it on my first foot. But yes, please don't break it off. You're one step ahead of me. Maybe you should be here and I should be No, that's right. Yeah. All right. So create it. I'm going to pop it because I've got a little bit of pressure now here. So I'm just going to break it at the top and tie that off and create my pinch twist. All right, so we've got that. No, we haven't. We've got that. All right, now if you still had extra balloon, you would feed it through. So I'm going to put this one to the side and we're going to make the second foot. So let's break this one off. Tie it off. Lock that in. All right, I'm going to put that to the side. Let's inflate another 260 chrome gold. Again, about 2-3 fingers. Going to give it a nice birth. I was going to tie that again, but this one here, let's tie it. Sorry about that. Just lost a little bit of hair. All right, so let's repeat what we've just done. 3 pinch twists. 1, 2, 3. Again, I'm just going to be cheeky. I'm going to leave it there just in case. Because I've made that joke that I'm licensed to pop, and that's exactly now what I'm doing. So I'll jinx myself. Going to come that hand width again. 2 pinch twists. Lay it down upon itself. Lock it into the toes. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Create that third bubble. Loop. Bubble. Pinch twist and put it through. All right. So we should have that. All right, looks like nothing's going down. I'm going to get rid of that mode. All right, as I said, I sometimes just leave it there because I think, well, no harm, no foul. But if I should pop something, I can just replace it straight away. All right, with your extra balloon, again, we're going to use these 3 bubbles at the back. All right, we're going to come through. You may have a longer bit than I do here. That's okay. If you've got a longer bit, we're going to grab our other leg. I'm just going to get my pinch twist back that I lost. Well, that's come undone. Always make sure your feet are facing the correct way. Now, if you've got extra balloon here, it's just a matter of sieving the balloon through, putting it through this hole, wrapping it around this pinch twist, and breaking the remainder off. Mine's a little bit short. So all I'm going to do is just twist off the last bit. So I've just got a little bubble there. I'm going to come through the leg. And I'm going to lock that in and around. The pinch twist. And yes, she said, yes, it is a little bit tight. Right, I'm going to use the table. Use the table just to make sure I don't pop anything. All right, so let's make sure we've got everything. How are we looking? Let's make sure, let's get our little man. Let's get our little man looking good. All right, so that's what we've got so far. So hopefully that leg structure made sense. I first saw Jeff Hayes do that leg structure many years ago. I've been in the industry 10 years, and one of my first conventions, OzJam, I was lucky enough to meet Jeff Hayes, and that's where I saw that concept, and I've just loved it ever since. So we're on the home straight, guys. We just need eyes and whiskers, and we're pretty good to go. So this is the only part where I don't use a chrome. Obviously you can, but I'm just going to go black. I've grabbed a 260. You can use a 5-inch round. You can use a 160. You can use whatever you would like. I'm going to use the scrap of the one that I was using earlier because I'm a twister on a budget. So much inflation and deflation in our business, isn't there? It should be a bank. So I want to have a good size set of eyes. Good size set of eyes. You know, that makes sense. So that's about 4-finger bubble. Let's tie it off, and we're going to split it into, hopefully, 2 even bubbles. Tie it. It doesn't have to be tied too tight because we have got the gold bubble in between. So I've got a little bit of sort of give, and I've been having a popping good time, so I'm going to take a breather right now and just try to pop anything. Okay, so we're going to grab this. So as I said, it's about 4 fingers each bubble, give or take 3 to 4, depending on the size of your hands. And we want to come in and under that gold balloon. Come to mama. Stay with me. Although I lost a few of my bubbles here at the back, I have actually just lost a little bit where I wrapped that gold balloon in. So I'm going to go again. Get in the right size. That's it. Just a little bit of love. That's what I'm here for. A little bit of love. All right. So we've got the pupil eyes in there. Now, I just want to add a little bit of, just want to accent it a little bit. So I'm going to go a chrome green 260 and just a puff of air. All right, let's tie that together. Trim off the extra. So I used to do it where I went over both bubbles. Now, I'll cheat a little bit. I'm just going to, I've tied that together. It's just got a puff of air in it, just give it a little bit of body. And I'm going to again come in and under. And I'm going to wrap that. Just going to place it around the pupils. And the beautiful thing is, I find, if the balloon that you've done, with a little circle of chrome, if it's too big, it's okay. You can just literally wedge it in between the silver. kind of what I like, so it doesn't always have to be to exact shape or size. And I always just like to just pull it down at the front or the top part, just so you can see that accent. All right, not a big fan of rats or mice, but this one I don't mind. All right, last finishing touch, guys. Whiskers. So again, we can go any colour. Sometimes I like to do clear because I think, you know, I've got a couple of dogs and you don't always, they're just like little white whiskers coming out. I mean, I know dogs aren't rats, but sometimes I think my dogs are rats. No, they're not rats. So again, as I said, we're going to go, let's chuck that in there. We're going to go silver. Again, just a puff of air. I always find that if I use the whole balloon, it's too long. So I'm going to come down about 4 or 5 fingers and tie it off. Trim it. Trim the nozzle. Now, sometimes I tie it here. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. So that's the beautiful thing. You don't always have to do everything the same. Sometimes we shortcut. So actually, you know what? I'm going to do the little knot. I'm going to tell you why. Because this is just going on a centerpiece. I find if you go up and around the nose starts to push out. So I'm a little bit cheeky. That little knot there, I just went underneath and that holds. So I've just pushed it in on one side. And that seems to work. All right, get a second one. I had a little bit of scrap silver on my table, so I'm just going to use the scrap because why waste it? It's all about recycling, repurposing. So again, I'm going to do the same little trick. I've made a little knot in the balloon and I'm just going to position that in and wedge it in. Straighten them all up and one, hanging with my chromies, rat or mess. And the crowd goes. Thank you to the 2 people. All right, let's put that to the side. Hope you all liked that one. And as I said, play around. Love to teach this at another time. As I said, I've just come up with it in the last couple of days. The concept with my just using a different balloon so I don't have to use all those 260s. But hey, what a cool design, keeping in mind we've only used 3 sizes of balloons. So think outside the square, have a bit of fun. And yeah, play, create, inspire. All right, my next design, I think I'm doing all right for time. I've at least got just over half an hour. Hopefully that's correct. I came up with these little aliens because obviously we're all in the same situation where I suppose I'm like the rest of you guys. I've got 2 girls at home at the moment. My 2 daughters are currently doing school online because obviously we're all isolating to make sure we don't spread COVID around the place. So we're doing all the right thing to make sure we can combat this, well, what's happening in the world. So I've obviously done a few little puns of, you know, alienate, etc. Yes, I have no children at home at the moment. I don't know who that is. That's another alien. So that would be my youngest, Bianca. So I reckon a couple of years ago she wouldn't have done that. So yes. So we're going to, and of course, I'm going back to my beginnings, quicker with the link. Although apparently I didn't come up with that. Keith came up with that. He's a smart bunny. Only I thought about that 6 years ago when I started working with quick links. Man, it would have been so different. All right, so as you can see, these two are pretty well identical, so we're just going to make, hopefully, I reckon we can get through one of each. So let's start. And obviously, no quick links yet available, but Qualitex, another good idea. Let's, would be great. Qualitex to bring out some quick link chromes. No pressure. No pressure at all. All right, I'm going to grab a lovely balloon stick because we are going to double stuff. So whichever colours you want, I've gone with a chrome silver 11-inch, and I am going to feed it into a lovely 12-inch clear quick link. So I'm going to put that to the side, and then I've grabbed a lovely green 11-inch round. Let me just move my little fella to the side. Oops, and on the floor. Now, because I want to put the legs in a different spot, we're going to put in this one. We're going to put 2 beads. 2 beads, or 2 beads, or not 2 beads, or 2 raisins, whatever you've got. Just don't put real raisins in like, who was that? That was somebody misunderstood. Oh, I think that was Pip. Misunderstood what a raisin was. If that wasn't Pip, I do apologise, Pip. And, oh no, was it? Or Zappo? No, it was Zappo. Zappo. He didn't understand when Pip told him what a raisin was, and he actually put real raisins, oh, squishy, in the balloon. So, I love it. So I've got 2 beads in there, guys, or I've got 2 raisins, whatever, but balloon raisins. So we're going to inflate. All right. So I haven't really fully inflated it. I'm going to put a little bit more in. I'm just going to soften it a little bit. Yep, just a little bit of a dip. We're going to tie that about medium. I don't want it too low. I don't want it too high. Let's grab, we've got a bit of scrap balloon. And, of course, I don't want to go straight down the bottom. I want to go to the side. So the winning number is Balloon Bingo. Oh, they're rolling around in there. Oh, got both of them. No, just not one of you. Sorry, just to the side. I, again, apologise. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm doing it again. All right, and I'm going to done this as far apart as I would have liked. Come on, baby. Oh. We've got the second one. Again, sorry. All right, so we've just attached those 2 beads. 2 beads or not 2 beads? That is the question. Where for out that? No. Now I'm going to inflate the outer. So I'm going to inflate the 12-inch quick link first. So you can do this if you don't want to have space between the helmet and your head. That's okay. Just inflate the silver, and I'll inflate both at the same time. You want to have a little bit of space so he does look like he's wearing a. Then inflate the 12-inch quick link first. When you're happy with that, all right. So as you can see, that's just given me a little bit of space between them. You can either tie it or just tie it to your 11-inch green. So we have that. All right, what colour did I use? I used purple. Oh, this is where I need an assistant, isn't it? purple chrome. Bear with me. No, I have a lovely assistant running from upstairs, and she's going to go. Thank you, Juliet. But can you get the chrome purple, please? I'm in the balloon room. So right behind this wall is my lovely balloon room. So it used to be the office, now it's the balloon room. So I have multiple stock on hand. Can you see where all the chromes are, Let? What? In the tub. Tub. Did I say she was a good assistant? Where the chromes are. Can't see her on the table. What, these? Oh, I've already moved the, what did I do with the purple? Purple. It's not on the thing there? Right, I'm obviously going to go have another colour because I'm so organised that I don't know where I put my chrome purple. Thank you. No, she doesn't want to come in the picture. Thank you, Juliet. Good job. Nearly going to fire her, but she came through. So, yes, so I said, right behind me is my stock room. And it's a mess. I'm not showing it to you because it's a working room. So we're going to inflate our purple chrome. And since she's so helpful, it looks like I might feed her tonight. So again, I've left about 2 fingers, and I don't know, for some reason I just like to stretch them. So we're going to stretch, and I'm going to start with 2 pinch twists. Okay, I want to roughly measure across, so it's about a hand width, and I'm going to do another 2 pinch twists for the other side. Soften. All right, pick up my balloon, wrap it around. See, exactly the same. And lock it into those pinch twists on the side. Now for just a little bit of extra intergalactic, I'm going to go around one more time, and I'm just going to make that a little bit fatter. Now, again, the beautiful thing about this design, if you want to put a balloon across here, give him a belt, jazz him up, you can do it. So let's do another bubble. I'm going to lock him to the 2 pinch twists and come back around the other side and lock in again. All right. So that's basically what we have. So they're sitting in front of each other. That's it, just to give it just a little bit more body. You can even see a flying saucer out of this, can't you? Another design. Saw it here first. Let's continue. Now I'm going to grab some 7-inch green chrome. Now, just to make it a little bit different, you can do your arms out of 260s, but I want to add, just want to give them a little bit of bulk. So I've inflated that to, again, about a hand's width. I'm going to tie it really high because I want to manipulate the balloon. Always, if I can give you a tip or trick or a gold nugget, and I mean, a lot of you would know this, but to me, always think, and I'm always thinking, not about much sometimes, but that's another story for another day and another webinar. Back to what I was wanting to say. Always think about what you're going to do with the balloon before you tie it. Because if you want to keep the roundness of the balloon, you're going to tie it nice and low to the balloon. If you all of a sudden you decide after you've tied it like that you want to manipulate it, it ain't happening, buddy. Or if it is, if you do, you're either on the verge of popping it. So I'm always, just think about what you want to do with the balloon, because sometimes when you've tied it, there ain't no going back. So I'm going to do 2 this size and tie it quite high. So let's grab our second one. Yep, pretty good. All right, and again, I'm tying it high to the nozzle, so I've got that movement. Yes, it's official. All right, let's go grab a gold Karoom. And I'm going to leave about 4 or 5 fingers uninflated. Again, I'm going to leave a little bit of the fruit. And I'm going to stretch. Because I was always told, do your exercises and stretch. And so I've done 2 pinch twists there while I was doing my exercises. I'm going to come back to the balloon. And I'm going to go about 2/3 and 1/3. Or you can go a little bit smaller on the hand, bigger on the arm. Actually, let's do that. Let's do about 1/3, and then that sort of almost feels like 2/3, give or take. I'm going to twist it off. I have my chrome gold, and I'm just going to nicely wrap that around so it's relative. It's not too tight, but it's firm enough that my 7-inch is not going to unravel. Lock that into pinch twist. Break. And break. And, no. Different. And tie. We're going to use this for the second hand. 2 pinch twist again. Let's grab our chrome green. And give or take. If you feel that you want to try and get just a little bit more movement out of your balloon, sometimes if you're lucky, you can actually roll the nozzle. And that just gives you a little bit more space. So again, I'm ready to go. Wrap that around where I've twisted it off and lock it in. Pop, but save. And this one we might save it. All right, so I've got about that much left. I'm going to now use it for the antenna. So 3 little bubbles. Something is talking to me. You know when you can hear a balloon and it's just making little noises? Now, some people like to tie the quick link, or the link part of it. I must admit, I don't bother, but it's all good. Different strokes for different folks. Whatever you feel comfortable doing. I'm always very conscious that when I tie a balloon in to the link, and this is my tip and trick, is I always hold it right close to the balloon. So, and then I make sure, a bit like I talked about earlier on with the bead, making sure that that part goes right to the other side of the pinch twist. That's exactly what I'm going to do with the link here. My hand, my thumb and my finger are right down close to the balloon. So I'm holding probably where a knot would normally be. I'm going to grab this part and I want to pull it. You really can't see camera angle, but I really want to pull it so that goes all the way over the other side. So it's tight. Because I'm really big on, well, besides I'm not really big. Yeah, we won't go down that path. I'm big on making sure that everything is tight. If you watch any of my videos or tutorials or my classes, I'm really, really pedantic. I'll use the word pedantic. Sometimes I'll use a different word. Really pedantic on there's nothing worse than seeing gaps where you go, oh, if only if that was tied in a little bit tighter, you wouldn't get, and we don't want to see this sort of hanging. We want it to be really nice and tight. So that's my tip and trick. I always go, don't hold it from the top of the link. I go right down to the balloon and make sure I wrap it in really nice and tight to make sure I've got no movement. That thing is tight as. I can't pull it where you see a gap. It's firm, baby. All right. So let's continue along. We've made our little arms, and I won't use the joke about being unarmed or armless because I've used it before. Oh, I think I just used it again, but it's true. These are not dangerous creations at all. So again, my tip and trick here, in between my finger is not just the nozzle, it's the knot. And with that knot, I'm going to come right in and around these pinch twists. And this is how I'm going to connect my arms. So I've got the knot in my hand, or in between my fingers. And 3D balloons again. And I've attached that to the pinch twist. Now, I had a little bit extra there. I'm not going to pop it because that's going to explode. So forgive me. That should just be a pinch twist there. But since there's only 2 of us, 3 of us, we can keep this little secret. Okay? Mum's the word. Again, I'm going to grab the nozzle and wrap that in nice and firm around the pinch twist. All right, I might just move that to the back so people don't really know it's there. All right, take me to your leader. So let's make some little feet. Now you could use a quick link on the bottom one as well. We're going to do it on the smaller design. As I said, I've done it this way just to give my feet a little bit more room. So chrome green, I've left about 4 or 5 fingers. We're not going to use it all. I'm going to stretch again. So I'm going to make a nice loop twist. Two pinch twists, loop, loop, 2 pinch twists, tomato, tomato, doesn't matter. Pop it off. And tie. All right, again, that lovely little trick. We've got these nice little beads, and we want to make sure that the beads go underneath those pinch twists, not just the balloon that we've tied it with. All right, so I'm just going to go put it between my legs only because that's going to allow me to go underneath that bead. All right, as you can see, if I trim this off, oops, not that one, that's for the other bead. All right, if I trim that off, you can see that is as tight as, because I've actually gone underneath this bead. I've gone underneath it with the bubble. Let's go again. So I initially use the balloon. So I've just got the bead right there. Gonna use my legs and my body, and I'm going to twist the loop. And that loop, if I twist it correctly, I don't want to rip the balloon. So that loop is going to go in and under the bead. I said, I hope that makes absolute sense because, as I said, these are tight as. Absolutely tight as. So it's all good to have your balloon as a connection point. But you need to make sure if you've got a bead or something that you actually are going in and underneath that to make sure that your feet aren't loopy. And as I said, they are, honestly, if I pull those, I'll just pop the balloon because I'm pulling it. It's so tight in there. And there we have. Take me to your leader. All right. 15 minutes to go. No one's counting. let's do the last one. Should we do the boy or the girl? Okay, boy it is. So we are going to, oh, these ones I did already prep. So we're going to do exactly the same as what we did with the head on the alien. Sorry, I just went into my own little world there for a second. So on the balloon stick, just made that nice and tight, and just going to feed the 6-inch quick link over the 7-inch chrome. I've done the same with my, no, I haven't. Oh, yes, I have. I moved it. I've done the same with my body. Now, with my body, I don't want it to look like it's in a suit, but you can. So what I'm going to do with this one, so I've got a 7-inch blue inside a 6-inch quick link. So because I don't want it to look like it's in a spacesuit, because this is the body, I'm just going to inflate the chrome. All right, so this is a way to create chrome quick links and tie it. So that's in there. Let's now grab the body. We're going to do the same trick we did before because we want him to look like he has got a helmet on. I'm going to inflate my 6-inch first. And then I'm going to inflate my silver. So obviously, depending on how much space you want, will depend on how much you inflate. All right. Simple as, let's tie those in together. So we have that. Should we go a different colour? No, let's just stick with the gold because I've got it here in front of me. So I'm going to grab a gold 260 chrome, and we're going to do that same trick that we did on the bigger alien. So again, I've left that with about 3 fingers uninflated. I'm going to give a little bit of a stretch, and I gave a little bit of dirt. So I'm going to start with 2 pinch twists. I'm going to sort of gauge my front bubble. So I'm going to go about a hand width and do this 2 other pinch twists. So we've got that. Pick up my design. Give it a little bit of a soften as I place it on the other side and lock it in. And now I want to come around another side. So just lie it in front of the other balloon. Put it in the pinch twists. And same again. So we've got 2 layers. As I said, I just think it just gives them a little bit more body at the front there. And as I said, you can straight away see a spaceship. We're going to pop off the remaining. Try off, rack in, whatever you want to do. All right, so we have that. All right, on this one is a small little dude, so I don't really want to give him big chunky arms using the 7-inch balloons. So I'm going to go a 260. And we're going to go to 260 chrome blue. And again, I've left that with about 4 or 5 fingers uninflated. A little bit of a burp and a stretch. While I'm at it, I'm just going to grab a chrome gold. And again, about 4 or 5 fingers uninflated. Get that a little bit of a burp and a stretch. Now, I pretty well watched 90% of the classes yesterday because I just kept walking around with my phone watching. It was amazing to see so many artists out there sharing and inspiring. And Stephanie made a good point of saying it. Every time you break a balloon and re-put it in, it takes time. And as a twister, we want to find little shortcuts. So we're going to do a little shortcut on this where we're going to get the arms without breaking it attached, just so we can have both. So I'm going to start with, on this one, it's like a little 2-3 finger loop twist. Always make sure, once you've done a loop twist, that you roll that nozzle through, just to make sure that that locks. It won't go anywhere. All right, so 3-4 fingers for the arm. Go a little bit shorter. So have it lost. 3-4 fingers, and we're going to attach that into the pinch twist at the side. All right, so pick whichever side you find is going to be the front, and we're going to go around the back. So again, just that little cheat of, I'm going to soften as I go, and around the back of the design, I'm going to create a bubble and I'm going to lock it into the pinch twist on the other side. So, as I said, 100% we want to find shortcuts. And if we, as I said, the minute you break it and tie it back in, it's taking time. We don't always have that time because we've got 3 million people in front of us wanting a design. I'm going to measure up the arm and finish off with my 2-3 finger loop twist. So I have that at the moment. Now I'm going to save this. I'm going to use it for the feet because I'm cheeky. So let's just make sure that that is nicely wrapped in. So always remember which way you twisted it, because if you twist it the other way when you're touching it, you're going to untwist it. So I'm going to break, take a little bit of air out, and I'm going to tie. I think I'm going to tie. And then let this one go. I don't want to let that one go down. So I've tied it, I'm going to lock it back in and put the knot through. Now we're going to accessorise it just a little bit. So I've got my lovely chrome gold. And I'm going to do the same trick as I did before. I'm going to start with 2 little pinch twists. Really, really nice and soften up. I want to make it like a little bit thinner, but isn't so chunky. And right where I've done that little loop twist, I'm going to just give them some bangles or some armbands or bracelet. All right. Break, tie, repeat. All right, so that's the front of our balloon, and as you can see, we've got that little cheek bubble at the back. Also props up your helmet a little bit more, so it's not a bad thing. Actually props up your head as well. Let's do the same on the other arm. Again, let's get that nice. A little bit of manipulation, so it almost seems like it's just a little bit of a fat 160 rather than a 260. Again, we're just going to nicely fold that around. A couple of times around the pinch twist. I'm going to pop, put that one down there, and I was going to use that for the top, but not now. So I'm going to grab this one. Now, normally if you hadn't popped it like me or let go of it, I would have used it for the antenna. but trying to let go. I wasn't having a frozen moment at all. And I find sometimes, obviously, with your chromes, as beautiful as they are, when you go to sometimes reinflate them, they get a little bit fatter. So I've got a spare one here. Just do the same trick as I did before. 3 little pinch twists. Again, holding right down at the balloon so you can see just the link between my fingers up the top, because I'm right down by the balloon, and I'm going to bring that in and around nice and tight. And she ain't going anywhere. We've got that. Last piece of the puzzle is our feet. So we've got that little bit of a spare balloon. I'm just going to create a good size pinch twist, because I'm only going to do one. And I'm going to lock that into the pinch twist, wrap it around, and then split that bubble. Make sure my math is pretty good. I'm going to get to, can do loop and loop, doesn't matter. That's the beautiful thing. Doesn't matter which road you take, as long as we get to the same destination, it's all good. Again, I've got that right at the bottom of the balloon. I'm holding it as tight as I can. I said, or do a knot. Whatever works for you. And no, I've made it back to front. I'm so sorry. This is embarrassing. Feet going that way, head's going that way. What should I do? Sorry? Turn it round. So turn. Excellent. No, it didn't work. Feet are still going that way and the head's going the other way. Turn it. Maybe the other way. Should I turn it the other way? No? Still? Oh. And there we go. You know, that's much more entertaining when there's kids in front of me. A bit awkward. A bit awkward, me tempting to entertain myself. But anyhow, I'm easily entertained, actually. What am I talking about? There we go. Take me to your leader. And I think 5 minutes to go. Boom! That's a wrap, baby. Hang it with my chromies. Hope you have all enjoyed. I hope you're all still there, seriously. I haven't heard from anybody for a long time, so this is frozen.
Hello.
Okay,
Yeah,
let it go. It's
we've been
probably
trying to
not
get you
frozen.
back on.
Let it go. Hanging with my chromies.
Just put that one on there as well. So. What a great job,
Hope you've
Nicole.
enjoyed.
Bless you.
We've got time for questions or anything like that, or
The
comments.
yeah,
from the
actually,
two people.
yeah,
That'd be awesome.
the two people that were watching still, they've just said, could you do them again? Because I think you froze.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to put another headphone in because I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I think your batteries went flat a while ago.
Can you hear me now?
There she is.
I can hear you.
We were saying there as well is that you froze for a while. So could you just start again?
Okay, welcome to Hanging with My Chromies.
Yay!
Do it all again.
Just tell me there are more than 2 people in here. Did I get 3? Did I get 3?
Yeah,
come
there's-
on, I'm living the dream.
There's 3 of us.
Yeah,
there's me. There's me,
Yeah.
there's Dom, and you.
No, Nicole.
Dom Keith. No, you boys aren't. You're not counted.
What
There's
you
like-
need to do is, once you get off here, you need to go on the chat. And
Look at
have
the
a
chat.
Look at the absolute.
Try and remember some of the
love.
funny things you said, and then see the reactions.
And have
And
a
the
look.
thumbs up, the golden nuggets, the top tips. Honestly, they were loving it. We had hundreds of people on Nicole. They were loving it. okay?
Absolutely.
And I enjoyed it. Keith didn't. He had a nap.
Yeah.
But
Typical.
I know. But what he did say is he wants to watch it when he's fully rested.
Absolutely. I'm going to grab
That was
some-
what he said.
Yeah.
I'll bail you out.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. That was some enduring conditions you had there.
Yeah, we really appreciate your professionalism
Yes.
and just getting on with the job.
Was I meant to be professional?
Well, you know.
Was I? Oh, cool.
For an Aussie.
Well, we do the best we can down here.
Yeah, with what you're given. We understand. Okay. Right, we're going to say bye-bye because we need to press on. Because of all your messing on, you've ran over like dramatically. So
I thought I was right to time.
Nicole.
Oh no, we are behind. Yes, my apologies. We are behind.
no, it's not your
yeah.
it's not your fault.
No, so
You're sitting
sorry.
there-
But look,
Not your fault, Nicole.
There's people saying on theirs, Nicole was hilarious, so much fun to watch and learn. There was people saying how
No.
technical you were, and you were able to convey the techniques very well, and really nice to follow along to. So well done.
No.
Jump
thanks,
on the
guys.
chat though,
Thanks.
and talk
Yep.
to your
No,
fans.
no, I will. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you to everybody that watched. I hope you got something from it. I hope I've inspired, because to me, that's what it's all about. It's not so much about learning a design. It's about being inspired to create other things. So thank you to Qualitex. Thank you to your boys. Apologies for technology, but thanks to everybody. Stay safe.
Okay. Thanks, Nicole.
Bye.
Bye bye
See you
for now.
guys. Bye.